Hello, Mr. Lacombe. This is going to be my extra credit assignment for sociology, and let's get right into it. And I just want to say thank you. So, the first chapter from what I learned this semester, which is race and ethnicity, was the stagecoach theory because he gave us an example of Hitler and the Nazis, how they wanted to capture the Jew, and if you didn't become a Nazi, basically, they would kill you, basically. So, that's one thing I took from race and ethnicity was one of those theories stood out to me, and also segregation, discrimination. But the next thing I learned during this was gender. I learned a little bit about gender. I knew the basics, but you mentioned transgender, and then you mentioned how there was a law passed, so gay marriages could happen as well. So that's something I didn't know at the time, that it was like banned to have like a gay marriage. I didn't know that, but with functionalism, something something I know that is common that you said is can women and men have the same job? So it's kind of that function where you will see women as nurses, and then obviously the blue collar jobs you will see men working them. Would women be able to um, do the same things that men are doing in construction and plumbing, whatever it may be, but will they be able to do those heavy duty, those outside jobs that mostly men do? So that's what I learned about gender. And then for I want to dive into work and the economy. um I feel like this one related to me a little bit more because as I work a job now, I feel like I could see the same complaints that some people may see, which is like um, like pay wages, hours. So I could see how it could be a little bit struggling. And then I know the economy is getting bigger and bigger, and there's more jobs and jobs to do. But I want to dive into the next one, which is health and medicine. And especially being a nursing student, I feel like I could like touch on this more. And we got given assignment is like, are you sick? Is illness and disease the same thing? Like, how do you determine that for that slideshow assignment? And which was very difficult because if somebody sneezing, you would just say they're sick. But if somebody has AIDS, people may consider that a disease. But there's something that you mentioned that sometimes the thing you have could be a positive or negative. For example, you said if somebody have cancer, they don't see the bad thing out of it. They do rally walks. They they walk for it, for cancer patient. But if you had AIDS, people will be like disgusted of you or scared to come nearby you, just in case of of it transferring onto you. So that's one thing I learned. Also, what I learned was RPE, I believe. But basically, you gave an example where you and I think your brother in law went to the gym, and then you were trying to keep up with him. And you said the next day you felt so sore like you never before because your body was not meant to be put through that. Like you passed your limits basically. Like you didn't actually think of what you could actually do, but you were just trying to keep up with your brother, and in the end your body felt that exhaustion. So that's one thing I also learned. Another thing I learned is families, um, single families, but I know you said something about 10 plus years. If you guys live together 10 plus years in a room, apartment, a studio, whatever, the city would consider you guys as married, which is something I didn't know. So that's kind of nice. And then a new term I learned was cohibit, I believe, where people test the waters, basically, you say. And then you said that even when people do this, the divorce rates are still high, you said. So even though you're testing the waters, it's kind of confusing to think that they're still getting divorced because they live with that person, and they tested the water, so they should know if they fit with each other. But also, in marriage and family, um, you got single parents, and the divorce rates are going down slowly. So I think that's a good thing. That means maybe we're actually taking our time as youth. Maybe we're becoming lover boys, but I don't know. But that's a good thing to see. And then population, I learned that the next generation is called Gen Alpha. I know I'm Gen Z, but I didn't know the next generation was called Gen Alpha. And education, I think education, the big one, is that we take it for granted. I would say I take my education for granted because I don't try as hard compared to an actual immigrant coming from another country. You talked about how Southwest is a dream job for a lot of teachers. And when I actually thought about it when you were lecturing in the moment, I honestly believe that because if you see other schools, you see school shootings, you see, like you said, what's it called, bad behavior, 40 plus students, and that's a lot. That's a lot to deal with, and the fact that we have like 30 students per classroom, that's a major difference. So I learned that maybe I should take my education more serious because over there in other countries they might not have this type of education that I have. I get to receive one-on-one feedback with you or with any other teacher, or even having other peers, being a safe environment, sanitized. So I think that was a good amount of what I learned. I would say work, health was a big one that I took in, but this video is going to be longer than 7 minutes, so I hope you don't get mad. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity for this extra credit assignment. I hope I hit all the points you were asking. I tried to hit a majority that it seemed like I actually took in some of what you said. But I just want to say thank you, Mr. Lacombe, and thank you for being a great teacher.